Hi, my name is Kateri, and today I thought I'd just make a quick video explaining a little bit more about ALS. It seems today that everybody is making an ice bucket challenge video for raising money and raising awareness for the ALS Association and ALS in general. So I figured I would just spew some information that I learnt about ALS and the symptoms and where all this money is actually going. Let me just make a disclaimer saying that I am in no way associated with any ALS associations and I am not an expert on this subject. I just wanted to share the information that I've learned through all this researching on their websites and stuff like that, just to kind of inform the public more about it. So if anything that I say is not quite correct or not quite accurate, just let me know in the comments below and we can have a discussion about it and I can become more informed or whatever. Anyway, so let's get started. So some quick facts to start off with. ALS stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis and is basically a disease where the motor neuron cells that are in your brain and spinal cord end up dying, which results in the inability to control voluntary movement as you properly would. Currently, there is no effective cure or treatment for ALS, and 80% of the people who are diagnosed end up dying within 2 to 5 years of being diagnosed. However, on the bright side, about 10% of people who are diagnosed go on to live 10 or more years after their initial diagnoses. It is the most common motor neuron disease and can affect anybody, regardless of gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic background, or age. Anybody can be affected by it. Some of the symptoms of ALS are muscle weakness in arms, legs, feet, hands, breathing muscles, swallowing muscles, and speech muscles. Twitching and cramping of muscles, specifically or especially in the hands and feet. Impairment of the arms and legs. Not being able to speak properly or project your voice, and difficulty swallowing, breathing, and having shortness of breath, which is kind of why they did the ice bucket challenge, as it kind of gives you an idea of what shortness of breath kind of feels like for a momentary second, what these people living with ALS kind of go through. So now, as everyone is donating, I kind of just wanted to explain kind of where all this money is going and what it's going to be going towards and research and stuff like that. So first off, where does the money go? Well, according to the financial reports that the ALS Association of Canada has given out from last year, about $4.4 million of the $6.6 million that was raised went to research and other programs that the ALS Association of Canada focused on. The remainder went to fundraising, administration, and governance, with the majority of the remainder going to fundraising. Now in the US, about $14.3 million of the $19.7 million that was raised went to programs and research, with the rest going to the other areas. That's 72.4% of the total funds that was given to the ALS Association of the United States. And in case you were wondering, as I'm making this video, $5.1 million has been raised in Canada this year, and $70.2 million has been raised in the United States. So according to the ALS Association of Canada's website, a typical research project can take anywhere from 3 to 5 years to complete and cost anywhere from $120,000 to $140,000 total. However, that does not include the amount that it costs to pay the scientists and other researchers and graduate students, etc., that are involved in this research. The research that the ALS Association of Canada focuses on is looking at how motor neurons work. Motor neurons are the cells in the brain and spinal cord that affect your muscles and your motor movement. When they are affected, then you can no longer move as you wish and properly and stuff like that. So this research looks how these nerve cells react both in normal and stressful conditions. They do this by studying these cells in both isolation and in combination with other cells using special techniques. Once something is discovered and it looks like it will be a promising lead, they will then do animal studies, which can take anywhere from 1 to 2 years to complete. So I thought I would share a few examples of the research that's being done for ALS. These are just a few of the research projects that are being done, but if you are interested, the links are in the description so you can learn more about the different projects that are being done. So first off, researchers are looking at glial cells and inflammation that can occur in them. Glial cells are these cells that surround nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. And when they become inflamed, they can affect the motor nerve cells that are in the brain and spinal cord. This is not good, as then ALS can develop. Currently there is research being done to help develop an anti-inflammatory drug that will then help with this glial cell inflammation. Recently they have discovered a new agent that could potentially help with this that will be going into clinical testing soon. Another area that researchers have been focusing on is stem cell research. Now this is a really controversial topic, as there are tons of legal and ethical issues surrounding stem cell research. In case you don't know, a stem cell is a type of cell that can develop into different types of cells during the developmental stages of the child in the womb. And so stem cell research is controversial, as it takes these stem cells and manipulates them to create a different type of cell. Researchers have been trying to combat these legal and ethical issues in order to help progress their research, as working with human stem cells is very controversial. What they have found is that they can take skin cells from people who have ALS and manipulate them into becoming stem cells. These cells then can be manipulated into a number of different types of cells, for example motor nerve cells, which then can be transplanted into the spinal cord or brain or whatever, and then potentially help the people who have ALS. They are currently doing a lot of research on this, as there's a number of different things that can go wrong when you transplant another cell into a human body, as cells can start attacking the other cells, a tumor can develop, or a number of different things can happen. So there's a lot of research going into this as well. And now the last piece of research that I'll talk about is focusing on decreasing the amount of time between the initial detection of the ALS symptoms and the diagnosis. Currently, there is quite a long period of time between these 2 points, which can have serious psychological consequences on both the patient and the loved ones, with the unknown being there looming over their heads for quite a while. It is also important to decrease this amount of time so that the treatment can begin quicker. One thing that I should also mention is that they don't just have one research project going at a time. There's multiple projects going on that focus on the same areas, so that any one of them can end up finding something and then progress and find a cure. So lastly, why should you care? Well, mainly because it can happen to anybody. My mom was telling me how there's a guy in my hometown who's 26 years old and was diagnosed with ALS. 26! He's 26 years old, and his life and his family's lives and everyone else affected by this individual is now affected by this disease. Because his family members are going to have to take care of him, and he's going to have to try and adapt to living with ALS, as there's no effective cure or treatment available. That's scary. Let me just make a disclaimer and say that I'm not making this video to be like, go donate all your money, if you don't, you're a terrible person. Because I know that I can't afford to donate all my money. I can donate some of it, but not all of it. Like, go ahead and do what you want with your money. I'm not telling you that. I just want to make this video just to inform people more about this cause and more about ALS in general, because it is a serious disease and it is something that should be funded. The point of this video was basically just to kind of spread the information about it so that people are made more aware of it and are more informed, as opposed to just dumping ice on their head and being like, woo, I nominate you, and stuff like that. So I guess that's all for now. If you want more information, the links are in the description below, and yeah, so I will see you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.